Coming up today on the Nice Guys on Business.
Yeah, I use a lot of the custom words in the dictionary of our computer where you can put in a 2 or 3 or 4 letter word and it autocorrects to paragraphs and paragraphs of text. So, for an example, people often want to know about my speaking events that I do, and I just type in the letter SPK and it autocorrects to a full paragraph with fonts and bullet points already preset. So it's like a very quick shortcut to reply to all my emails.
Oh, wait a minute. Where is that?
It's only been on every computer for 18 years now. for free. For free. It's crazy.
The Nice Guys on Business podcast. And may the force be with them. They need all the help they can get.
Strickland, Doug is your father.
Need an education on how to grow your business? The Nice Guys are here to help. Learn about great customer service, networking, and how just being nice can help you prosper. Now, here are your hosts, Doug Sandler and Strickland Bonner.
Hey, Nice Guy community. Welcome back. Welcome back. It is Monday. My name is Strickland Bonner. On the other side of the microphone, Mr. Doug Sandler. Am I doing that pace okay, Doug? Not too fast, not
man.
too slow for you?
I was completely thinking as you were doing it, dude. You're on it. You are on it. Thank you for following my guidance and suggestions. I
just had to settle in. If it was a little too slow early on, it's because I was overcompensating. I just need to settle in. It's all good.
No, thank you for settling in quite nicely, and thank you, Nice Guy community, for being here, and thank you for just including us in your life for yet another week of craziness. This is a great week. We've recorded a bunch of the episodes already. You are going to love the week, except for all of the technical difficulties that we had. Before we actually
we're going to have tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going to have some really bad, but it's good because you get to hear the real us. And speaking of hearing the real us, if you really want to hear the behind the scenes conversations that Strick and I have, head over to patreon.com/nice guys. What level do they need to be at to hear that? Just the $2 level, or can they
$2 level? That's it. Yeah.
So we're introducing. Are we introducing the new $1 level? because
I think I'm going to start that this week. Yeah.
All right, we're introducing a new level. We're trying to see if we can move the needle. We're feeling like maybe the $2 level might be keeping you away. So we're going to introduce a $1 a level month that you can contribute to patreon.com/nice guys. $1, $2, $5, $10, $25, and $1,500 levels that are right there. All of the rewards are there. We are achieving our goals. We're just going to do it maybe a little slower than we had anticipated. So head over to patreon.com/nice guys to check it out. And you'll hear the amazing conversation that we had because of the total shit show of technical difficulties that we had in recording some of the shows this week. So anyway, check it out.
Yeah, we're going to lose all of our Patreon patrons because of the technical whatever.
Nah, we'll get there. Strick, as a part of you've been in the corporate world, and I know that you feel the way I do, and this is what we talk about on today's show with our guest, Cameron Herold. Meetings suck. Have you ever been to a meeting that you've ever liked?
Sometimes, but they're less frequent are the ones that I like versus the ones that I think suck.
So one of the things that Cam talks about is the steps that you have to take in order to have, number one, a successful meeting, but a meeting that actually meets the goals of the meeting itself. I can't tell you how many times as a part of the meetings that I've been, not that I go to them very often, but because I am involved in the consulting side of things and do a lot of work here and there with other organizations, I see and I hear and I'm a part of many of the meetings. Sometimes I get called into a meeting. I don't even know why the fuck I'm going to the meeting. Now that is not right. You should not do that. So Cam is on the show. He talks all about why meetings suck. He wrote the book literally called Meetings Suck. And he does a really good job on today's show about talking. Cam was actually also the creator of 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
That's really cool. I mean, 1-800, that's huge. The other thing that's cool about Cameron, and by the way, when I think of Cameron, all I think about is Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Cameron was his best friend, right?
I did not know that.
Have you seen? Actually, I shouldn't ask.
Yes. Many
TV.
Yes. I have.
Not Ferris Bueller's Day Off. There's a new ad campaign that Domino's put out about their tracker, and they've spoofed a couple of scenes from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Right. One of them is like when he checks his phone and it shows that his Domino's pizza tracker is going to be delivered in 2 minutes, and he's like, "Oh, gotta go." And it's like the scene at the end of the movie where he's running through all the yards and stuff.
Yeah.
During that running scene, he actually is running right next to his father driving home at one point, and his father glances up, sees him, looks away, doesn't realize it's him, and he looks back again, and of course Ferris is gone.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Did I just see that?" So That's one of the things that they spoofed in one of these ads, but the guy driving the car is the actor who played Cameron.
Oh, wait. So this is the Domino's Pizza commercial actually doing the spoof.
I know it's a really fucking long way to go, but I just thought it was so funny when I realized it yesterday. I saw the ad, and part of the ad, when the kid is running back to his house so he can get his Domino's Pizza, one of part of the scenes they spoofed was he's running right next to a car.
Yeah.
And the guy in the car glances up to see him and then looks away. Then looks back up again like, huh?
Wait. We just did this. Didn't we just do this? It reminded me of Groundhog Day. Didn't we just do this?
Did we talk about this? What are you talking about?
You just said it. You just said it a moment ago.
Yeah, I know, but I was just explaining it because I felt like you didn't get it.
No, I got it. No, I totally got it. And all of that because today's guest's name is Cameron, right?
That's my ADD. I'm sorry. I go off on those train wrecks.
You totally went.
About that more tomorrow, by the way.
Totally. Oh my gosh! Listen to tomorrow's show. We totally go off on that ADD, ADHD tangent. And yeah, I did not know Strick was on medication.
So the other cool thing with Cameron is he's doing something. He has a vivid vision. Okay, so you know companies that do mission statements or vision statements. Yeah. Cameron has come up with this idea, and it's really brilliant. He has a vivid vision. Okay, and this is exactly where my company, his company in this case, is going to be in 3 years. December 31st, 2019, this is exactly what my company is going to look like. So instead of saying, hey, here's my mission statement of what I'm going to try to do every day or my vision statement, he basically says, look, this is exactly where my company is going to be in 3 years. And so everything that you do every day needs to be working towards that.
I have such a tough time with that. I'm not saying that that's not realistic and that's not what you should do. I just know me, and I need to get out of my own way oftentimes in order to make that happen, because, and my wife and I have this conversation all the time. Is the action that I'm going through or doing today is all a part of getting me where I see my company going in the next X amount of time, whether that's a year or a month or 5 years from now. I don't know. I get pulled in too many directions, and probably that holds me back from that ultimate level of success that just keeps eluding me.
Well, but that's the big picture that you need to look at when you start getting pulled in all different directions. And I really think that's what Cameron goes into. Mm-hmm. And I think it's really important because same thing for me. If you are a Patreon patron, you can listen to the pre-show bonus and hear a little bit about this. I'm not going to go into details, but like I have for the end of this year, I've set myself a goal, a personal goal for one of my businesses for January 1st, 2018.
Right.
And I need that goal because every day when I'm thinking, hey, I'm going to do this in my business, I have to think to myself, okay, will doing this get me closer to that end goal that I want? Casey in our mastermind said, okay, if you could get an award 10 years from now, what would that award be? What do you want to be? Do you want to get an Oscar? Do you want to be like the greatest salesperson ever? What would it be, right? So you get that in your head. And then it's like, okay, so what do you need to do by the end of this year to try to get there, right? And then the next step back is, okay, to get where you think you need to be in a year, what do you need to do this month? What do you need to do this week? What do you need to do every day to get there? That's exactly what it's all about, and I think it's brilliant.
I'm not at all, and I do agree that it is brilliant, and I'm not disagreeing with that strategy in order to get where you need to be. But let me just throw this into the equation, and then we'll get to the interview with Cam, because this is always the part that I have a conflict with in my head. If we were to do that, and I were to say 5 years ago, 4 years ago now, in 2013, I developed this idea that I wanted to become a professional speaker, and I had tunnel vision and laser focus on making that happen. So I went through that entire process, hired a speaking coach, wrote the book, started my entire marketing campaign. Since then, look at all of the things that have happened and changed in our lives, in my life. If I'm just looking at my specific goal, this podcast came as a if I stayed focused just on my speaking business, I don't know that the podcast would have actually evolved. And the same thing goes with the Turnkey Podcast Company. I'm not sure that we would be approaching this business or any number of things that I have done since then. So I always get conflicted. Can you go off in a side angle or a side direction if things change, or how focused do you need to stay? I could stay right in that zone of, nope, the podcast does not align with my speaking goals.
Well, to me, the only constant is change. And as long as you're doing it thoughtfully and you do have a goal in mind, then it's okay. Great example, right? Like I've talked about for 2 years, hey, I want to get into speaking, right?
Yeah.
Now, I have, over the last 2 or 3 months, I've focused on my podcast production company, and now we're looking at our turnkey podcast company. And I've not lost my desire to speak, but I have absolutely made the conscious decision to put it aside and focus on these other things first. But I think that's the important part is you have to make the conscious decision that, okay, this was my goal. Okay, well, I'm changing it around a little bit, but I'm changing it for a specific reason, as opposed to getting distracted because there's something you just kind of feel like doing and it would be fun. The things that I'm focusing on now with the podcast production and with the turnkey podcast have a very specific goal, even though it's different from the original one that I came.
Totally agree with you. I totally agree. If you make a conscious effort to make a change, that's one thing. If you get pulled in a direction because you're following somebody else's goals and their dreams, I think that is not a good reason to make a change, unless you consciously make that as your goal. So I think it's just a matter of semantics. It's a matter of the way that you. I could just focus just on being a speaker. And I think that a lot of things, I would have missed many, many opportunities. I would have missed the opportunity with C-Suite. I would have missed the opportunity to do the podcast production company, a whole bunch of different things. I would have missed the boat. But yes, I have made a conscious decision at each step of the way to either move forward or to dump something in my life that wasn't working. I can look back just to the last 4 months, just for the beginning of the year, before in December or even in November when I started developing my goals for 2017. And a lot of those things that even 4 months ago that I decided were going to be parts of my 17 drive, I have seen a lot of those things go to the side because of other opportunities that have come up. I don't know. It's a very curious thing, and I think that Cam does a really good job of not only talking about why meetings suck, but he talks about and following that vision, following that mission, and following the goals that you've set for yourself as well.
Yeah, maybe next week we'll talk about that on one of our Tuesday or Thursday shows. But now we want to get to the interview with Cam. Did we get to the promise statement yet?
Nope. The promise statement is right here. It is to provide a learning experience that is entertaining and adds value to your life. If you feel like we could add a little bit more value to your life or add a little bit more entertainment, or if we're doing a good or a horrible job, could you just let us know? At DJ Doug or at Nice Guy on Biz on Twitter is the way to reach out to both of us, the easiest way. You know what? Just scratch that Strickland one. Just reach out to me at DJ Doug. I don't think Strickland's even on Twitter anymore. Are you?
Sometimes. Reach out to Doug. It's all good.
That's at DJ Doug. I have noticed, though, that you did a very good job last week on the Facebook community page.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. No. You're Twitter, I'm Facebook, and then it's all good. We're all good.
All right, let's get to the interview.
We're just driving our own lanes.
Just for a little while. Cam Herold here on the Nice Guys on Business. We are associated and affiliated with the C-Suite Radio Network. So we all know that meetings suck, but I love a great interview. And today's guest, Cameron Herold, wrote the book literally called Meetings Suck. I love this review of the book best. It summed up, it says, I love this book, but there is too much good stuff. There you go, Cam, over-delivering once again. Here to talk about building your business, growing relationships, figuring out what to do and when to do it, almost as important as what to do. Welcome to the Nice Guys on Business podcast, Cam.
Hey, Doug. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
No, our pleasure. And Deb Gabor actually put us together. And I know that anybody that Deb sends us has totally got to be off their cork. So welcome.
Thank you. I'll make sure I deliver for you then.
You totally will. Just remember, if you can, just stay as close to that mic as you can, because I know that everybody likes to talk with their hands, and we want to get as clear a connection as possible.
Sounds good.
It's usually not that meetings suck, but more so I think that we suck at running meetings. That's totally my spin on it, but that sounds like that's your spin on it too. Is that right?
Yeah, it really is. I mean, at the end of the day, we would never send our children off to Little League Baseball without teaching them how to throw the ball and catch the ball and hold the bat, just giving them the basics. And yet we allow our employees to attend meetings or participate or book meetings without ever really having had any training in that. So of course meetings suck. Meetings suck because we suck at running them.
Yeah, it's so true, and I love the way that you put it. And Nice Guy community, if you are driving right now, just pause the podcast for a half a second, because I want you to pull over, because the next part, what we're going to get to right here, is this part that I love when a guest actually can come on the show, give us some immediate action items, or give us at least some rules to some action items. And Cam, you covered this in one of your YouTube videos that I had a chance to see when I was doing some research on you, and it was the top 5 rules for going to meetings, or what meetings are all about. So are you, can I catch you flat-footed and ask you to share them, or is that something you need to refer back? You probably spouted them out so many times.
Yeah, I know this stuff cold. So at the end of the day, when you're booking a meeting, every meeting has to start with a clear purpose. Just the one sentence, why are we here? Then secondly, every meeting has to have a maximum of 3 outputs. What are the 3 things that you're going to get done? If you need to have more than 3, book a different meeting. Every meeting has to start with a clear agenda, and just allow the employees that you're inviting to say no agenda, no attenda. Like, if I don't know what we're covering and what order we're covering it and how many minutes we're spending on each agenda item, why would I say yes to showing up yet? Next part is every meeting has to start exactly on time. And the only way you can really do that is to finish every meeting or every phone call that you have 5 minutes early. And that gives you time to walk down the hall, talk to your assistant, get a cup of coffee, and sit down to start your next phone call and meeting exactly on time. So I like starting meetings on time, just like an Olympic athlete would show up for the race on time. Usually want to be there 5 minutes early. If you're not 5 minutes early, you're late.
So what's horrible about the way that meetings are run right now, and I don't mean to take a negative approach to this, but I don't think I've ever had a meeting where those things have actually been, it's like show up 8 o'clock. This is what we're, maybe I'm getting that this is the purpose of the meeting, or 8 o'clock or at whatever time, 11 p.m. 11 a.m. Geez, at 11 p.m. I'm generally an hour and a half sleeping already. At 11 a.m. They just say, we're having a sales meeting, get to the sales meeting. Now, how bad is that?
It's horrible. And again, that's why meetings suck, and that's why people go around complaining about it. The whole reason for me even writing the book Meetings Suck was so that every employee at every company would finally have a very simple playbook on how to run meetings, or how to attend and participate meetings, or on exactly the types of meetings that all companies need to have and how to run each of them.
So I'm going to ask the $64,000 question here, though. We all know that meetings suck, but our bosses don't, because they're the ones that have the ego, and they're the ones that have the agenda. So how do we put in their mind, or aside from buying a copy of the book and placing it on their desk, which I don't advise you to do unless you have a good relationship with your boss and you can say, hey, our meetings really do suck. How can you get higher up to buy into this? Where do we start?
That is exactly where you start. Even if you don't have a good relationship with them, put a Post-it note on the front cover of the book and say, hey, guess what? Meetings at all companies suck. This isn't just a commentary on our company, but let's all read this together. I read it. I thought it's great. You might like it too.
So moving from the meeting suck area, that's just almost like a symptom of the overall structure of a company and the philosophy of a company. I mean, that's just one of the symptoms of many different things within an organization that can go wrong, or so I see. Me as a guy that has not worked in corporate America for probably the last, 20 some odd years, fortunately, the only meetings that I have are by myself, and I'm not allowed to tell you what that's called. But the question is, how do we, what are the other things that are of issue within organizations that we really need to get a better handle on in order for our company to be more productive, more efficient, more profitable?
Sure. Well, one is really the alignment around vision. And it's that the owner or the CEO often has a very clear vision of what the project looks like, or what the goal looks like, or what the company looks like a few years from now. But they really haven't shared it with all the employees, customers, and suppliers so that everybody knows where we're going and everyone can act on that same level of intuition. So too often the entrepreneur hasn't clarified it. So I've created a tool called a Vivid Vision, which is a 4 or 5 page written document describing your company with a ton of clarity 3 years in the future. And that way everyone can reverse engineer it and figure out how to get there.
Oh, that's a really cool thing. When you get dubbed by Forbes magazine as the CEO Whisperer, there's got to be a lot of pressure in that title. First of all, congratulations on obtaining that title. Why do they call you that, and how can you live up to that? Because that really is, that's somebody that actually understands, lives, eats, breathes, and sleeps the organization before the organization may even know what their purpose is. You can find their purpose. Can you share how you live up to that title?
Yeah, I think in a lot of ways what it comes down to is I actually see how to make things happen. So when the CEO or the entrepreneur shows me where they want to go, I can help reverse engineer that quickly. And I also see the very simple to put in place, kind of the easy to execute systems that most companies overcomplicate. I just see the very easy ways to get things done. And then I've built so many companies or advised so many real companies with real growth and fantastic cultures that everything's kind of pointing back to me as, maybe this guy does know what he's doing.
As I was doing a little bit of research, and it didn't take too long before you could figure out that you've had some major successes in your life. Again, congratulations, Cam, on I know this isn't an ego stroke for you. This is just the reality of where your career has headed and is going. You were the guy that started 1-800-YOU-GOT-JUNK, and I saw that and I could not believe it. I mean, there might be some other businesses that call themselves You Got Junk, but this is the 1-800-YOU-GOT-JUNK. I see those trucks everywhere. Well done. So can you just share that journey a little bit?
Sure. It's actually the brand is 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Oh, I'm sorry. I do apologize. Yeah, there you go. That's how good my research is.
Intentionally, it was 7 letters because that turns into a phone number as well. So 1-800-GOT-JUNK. And I was the chief operating officer of that company. I came in when they had 14 employees, and the CEO really had a good vision for where he wanted to go, but he didn't know how to get there. So I kind of came in as his second in command and helped him grow it. When I left 6.5 years later, we had 3,100 employees system-wide. We'd landed 5,200 stories in the media, and we ranked as the number 2 company in all of Canada to work for.
I got to tell you, Cam, that is so cool. I mean, I love a great story. So with every great story, usually is preceded by about 17 or 18 failures. So was there anything in your life that you just said you couldn't figure it out, couldn't get it off the ground, couldn't move it? Where did you learn these lessons that got you through 1-800-GOT-JUNK?
Yeah, I don't know if there was like huge failures, but what I learned from a very early age was there was no point in trying to figure it out because really smart people had already figured it out. So my R&D stood for rip off and duplicate. I just looked for companies that were doing the great stuff and doing it in the right way, and I just simplified their stuff and did it fast. So I didn't have to really learn from my mistakes. I learned from other people's mistakes faster.
Well said. Well done for sure. Now, you've lectured and coached in nearly 36 countries. Are business building principles universal? And if so, what are some of maybe the commonalities that we all have in common with each other?
I think one of the big commonalities is related to focus and people. It's really, really hard at the end of the day. Business is accelerating, growth is going faster, and there's so many distractions out there that regardless of the market that we're operating in, people's time and focus is really key. And then the second part is just interpersonal relationships and managing people and helping remove obstacles and helping people to get along and remove conflict. Those are pretty common around all cultures for sure.
Oh, that's good. Hey, I want to move into a little area of our show called the tools, tips, and tricks section of the show, Cam. And again, I don't mean to put you on the spot. If you need to take a pass on any of these, we certainly will allow it. I have a feeling that you're pretty quick natured with your responses, so you might be able to get some of these. Are you ready to roll?
For sure. Let's go.
That's good. I want to talk about an action item. So let's get into some tools. Someone listening to the Nice Guy community wants to put into play something right now. Can you give us we'll start with tips. Can you give us a tip that they can start using right now in order to really get the action rolling on getting some success going on in their life?
Sure. I guess the big tip is that it's really more about the minimum viable everything. They talk about the minimum viable product, but what about the minimum viable everything? Anything you do doesn't have to be perfect. Perfect does not really matter. Momentum creates momentum. So it's about getting stuff out the door faster and going for product or service or promotional items or marketing that is good and just getting it out the door because that momentum will create momentum. So I think that's the big idea is just go for the minimum viable everything.
Oh, awesome. That's really good. So let's talk technology now. Share a tool that you think is invaluable to doing what you do right now.
Sure. I use an app called Commit to 3, and it's a daily accountability tool. So every day I have 2 accountability partners, one in business and one personal. I make a list of the top 3 things I need to get done today. In amongst all the hundreds of other stuff I want to do, what are the top 3 things I'm going to do? And then my accountability partner in business, Joe Polish, commits his top 3 to me. And then on the personal side, I do the same thing. 3 personal things I want to get done. I commit those to a friend of mine, Gordy, who is a triathlete, and he commits his personal ones to me. So it's a really easy way to keep focused and have a daily kind of accountability check-in with somebody as well. And the way the app works is the person who sets theirs first it signals the other person to get theirs done as well. So first thing in the morning, somebody is triggering the other person to get focused. It's great.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So you need an accountability partner for that as well, or do they have a community that you can actually tie into in the event that you don't have somebody to do it on your own?
No, they don't. But again, just any listener, any friend, any random work associate, just find somebody who wants to get more stuff done, more of the right stuff instead of just the busy work.
Oh, good one. Everybody also likes a shortcut. So is there a trick or a life hack or something like that you may think is common knowledge in your day, but people might not realize?
Yeah, I use a lot of the custom words in the dictionary of our computer where you can put in a 2 or 3 or 4 letter word, and it autocorrects to paragraphs and paragraphs of text. So, for an example, people often want to know about my speaking events that I do, and I just type in the letter SPK, and it autocorrects to a full paragraph with fonts and bullet points already preset. So it's like a very quick shortcut to reply to all my emails.
Oh, wait a minute. Where is that?
It's only been on every computer for 18 years now. for free. For free. It's crazy.
Oh, wait a minute. So how do you access it, Cam? I've never heard of this. I know my son uses it when he sends me text messages. He just types in a letter or two and it will complete yeah, I got that. I love you too, Dad. So
that's exactly what that is, right? So if you look on a Mac as an example, if you go to keyboard and then you go to text, and then you can put in all of your code. So an example, I do ADDC is my Canadian address, ADDU is my US address, CCING is all the information on my coaching, et cetera, et cetera.
That's crazy. Yeah, you see that? It's common knowledge to you. It's like how long you been using that?
Since 2000 or 2001.
All right,
16 years.
Okay, so this is how much of an idiot that I am, and I can't believe I've still been able to build a business without it. But that's crazy. I've never heard of that. Now, Nice Guy community, you're probably screaming at your speaker right now saying, "You're a fucking idiot, Doug. You've heard of this before." No, I really have not ever heard of these. It's
You can also do it you can have codes that would become your passwords or codes that become your email addresses as well. So instead of having to type in, your full email address, I type in BPOO and it types in, Cameron at backpocketco.com. I type in BPO, it's cameron.herold@gmail.com, et cetera.
Excellent. So if I was just going to go to Google so I can find out actually how to install that, what do you think would be the good keywords for me to type in? I just wrote keyboard text on Mac. Is that correct?
Yeah, and you don't have to install anything. It's in your computer for free already.
I love it. Oh my gosh, this is great. I think you just gave me a life changer. For sure.
It's huge.
And I know you're thinking, "Why this guy is a total idiot. I can't believe he has a show."
No.
All right, let's go on to the rapid fire Q&A. I'm going to ask you a handful of questions. I'm going to do my best to back off. All you need to do is just give me a 10 to 15 second answer on each one of these. You ready?
Sounds good.
All right, here we go. Cam, be relatable. What do you suck at?
I'm really bad at back-end IT infrastructure and, deep finance stuff. Terrible at it.
All right. Be transparent. How did you pay your bills when you first got going?
I found really profitable revenue. I went out and found high gross margin revenue.
Nice. Be confident. What do you do as an entrepreneur that's as good as it gets?
I'm probably one of the best in the world at interviewing, recruiting, hiring, and selection of people, and at culture.
Interesting. Be humble, and that's not a surprise to me at all. Be humble. What experts do you need to call upon to make shit happen?
I've joined 4 groups so that I can actually not be the smartest guy in the room. I'm a part of the Genius Network, Mastermind Talks, Maverick, and Strategic Coach Dan Sullivan's 10X program. I've also recently gotten into a group called Go Abundance.
Nice. And as an entrepreneur and a business owner, put these into priority order. Are you ready? It's employees, customers, products, systems. Put those 4 into priority order.
It would be employees, customers, systems, and products.
All right. And just curious, again, no right answer, no wrong answer. Why employees first?
Employees absolutely are first, because if you really, really, really care about your employees, they'll take care of everything else for you. If you think about your customers first, then employees always feel like the second best.
Oh, that's so true. All right, Cam, I'm going to put you on the personal spot here. If you had to pick a song title that represented your life, what would it be?
BTO's taking care of business.
somehow that's not surprising to me. It's totally true for you.
It's my walkout song for speaking events.
Oh, and you even have the walkout song too. That's great. That's great. If our Nice Guy community wanted to get in touch with you for more information about what you do and how you do it, Cam, how can we do that?
Sure. My 3 books are all available on Amazon and iTunes, and those are Double Double, Meetings Suck, and The Miracle Morning for Entrepreneurs. And then all of my videos of my speaking events, they can get at the tools page at CameronHerold.com.
Excellent. And Cam, just 2 personal questions, and then we will conclude here. Do you have an iPhone or something inferior?
iPhone, for sure.
For sure. Okay. And if you go to your photo app, what is the last thing you took a picture of?
Hang on one sec.
Okay.
It was literally a picture of me sitting inside this cardboard box to tone down my sound.
That's good. Yeah, Cam and I were doing some technical work right before he got online with us, and it's good sound, Cam. It's good sound, and you look good in a cardboard box. Hopefully, you'll never have to live in one.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah, please. Yeah, we'll include that in a link to that in the show notes as well. I don't have no idea how to do that, just like the texting keyboard thing. But and go to your text app. Let me know either the last text message you sent or received.
It was a message from my wife.
Oh, okay. Well, you got, now that you've said that, you got to share it now.
No, she was just struggling sleeping last night, so it was just about.
I got it. I got it. All right. Well, cool. Well, we hope that she gets a good night's sleep. Hopefully, this interview won't put her to sleep. And if she wants to listen to any of the Tuesday or Thursday shows, that'll be sure to get her laughing and probably put her to sleep pretty quickly, though, Cam.
Sounds good.
All right. So, Nice Guy Community, we'll make sure we put all the information about Cam and all of the stuff that he does in our show notes. Nice Guy Community, again, never underestimate the power of nice. Special thanks to Cam for being a part of our show. Thanks again.
Hey, thanks, Doug. Appreciate it. Had fun.
Steve O'Brien, go ahead and take us out of here.
For Doug, Strickland, the Nice Guys on Business podcast, I'm Steve O'Brien. Yo, bartender, Jobo needs a refill.